Hello everyone, my name is Alexander, and welcome to The Experience. If you don't know what The Experience is, allow me to enlighten you. The Experience is my opinion of a game based on my first playthrough and what I experienced during that playthrough. In this video, I'll be giving you my opinion of Salt and Sanctuary on the PC. It is an action RPG with Dark Souls mechanics in a 2D setting. The gameplay will feel similar to those who have played Dark Souls, but slightly easier with a few twists that make it unique. There will be spoilers of early game events, so be warned. Since I am talking about things in the order I encountered them while playing, let's talk about character creation. There are a decent number of character customization options and starting classes to choose from. Blue is my favorite color, so I ended up going with blue everything. I chose the Hunter class because its starting weapons looked interesting. After customizing my character's appearance and class, I had to choose a gift. I had no idea what these did, but ended up choosing the ring. I finalized my character and ventured forth. The game starts off by giving you a bit of story. You are escorting a princess to the kingdom across the sea for a marriage alliance to bring about peaceful days. That ends as fast as the game tells you because the ship you're on has been boarded by pirates. As you work your way through the enemies, you find your way out of the ship's hull and into your first boss fight. I died before I could really do anything to this boss, and when you die, you don't get another chance because you wake up on a beach. You have to make a new character each time you want to fight this boss. I made a few different characters to get some better footage and never made it far in the fight. You find an old man ways up the beach who tells you of a sanctuary you can claim for your creed up ahead. He proceeds to ask what your creed is. If you say no to his questions enough times, you get a list of 3 choices. 3 may seem small, but you will encounter more creeds as you play. I ended up choosing Goddess of Light, which gave me an item to claim sanctuaries. When I was done talking to the old man, I went to find that sanctuary. Along the way, I found a few enemies who dropped some gold and salt, which are currencies used to buy items and level up. In a chest nearby, I found a key, which opened the door to my first sanctuary. When you rest at sanctuaries, your respawn will be moved to that location. You also regen healing items and enemies respawn. You can spend your salt while resting to level up. For each level, you gain some health and a black pearl. These can be spent in the talent tree. The talent tree looks very intimidating at first, but doesn't take long to figure out. Since I chose Hunter, I started with Class 1 Marksman and Class 1 Hunter in the talent tree. These gave me the ability to wield Class 1 crossbows/pistols and whips. I tried to stick with this theme for a while, but ended up doing whips and poleaxes because crossbows didn't have many scenarios where they were useful. I like the leveling system because you can use your salt to buy levels, and you get a pearl to spend in the talent tree, but you don't have to spend it right away. This allows you to level without forcing you to decide on your build. One thing I didn't like about this system is your maximum health is tied to your level and not a stat. This wasn't really a problem because the game was pretty well balanced and I never really needed more health. I just like a little more room for my mistakes. After looking through the talent tree, I started to explore the first area. The first area had some helpful shortcuts that allowed you to skip some enemies while running back from the sanctuary. I also encountered what I like to call a mini sanctuary right before the first boss fight. These are similar to normal sanctuaries, but only give you healing items and set your spawn location. This made the run back to the boss a lot easier and less annoying. Even though I got lost a few times, the level design in Salt and Sanctuary is really well done. I think they did a great job adding shortcuts and hidden paths leading back to areas you have previously explored. This gave you an idea of where everything was located and how the world was connected, which I really like. The game also has areas that tease you because you can't explore them until you have the special ability to do so. At first, I didn't really like the art style because it was really dull and colorless, but as I played, I discovered that having a light source makes colors pop, as if the world was always in a state of darkness. The art style, mixed with the lighting, creates a dark atmosphere that really shows the state of the land, which I liked a lot because it adds a layer of immersion to the game. Combat in Salt and Sanctuary is all about maintaining your stamina and looking for opportunities to attack or heal. There are a large variety of weapons and magic that give you interesting ways to play. Most of the weapons have combo attacks, however the whip, which was my primary weapon for a while, did not, so I didn't use combos early on until I found a spear and tried it out. The whip had its uses though, like hitting things above my head, and its low stamina cost was nice for high movement situations. I did say this game is easier than Dark Souls, but it does not hold your hand, so don't expect to walk in a park. Weapons aren't the only thing that make combat interesting. You face a decent variety of enemies and challenges throughout Salt and Sanctuary. Only a few of the enemies I faced felt completely unfair. At least to me they did, because the only way I could deal with one of those examples was running away and shooting it with a crossbow, because I would die if it hit me. There are a few things I dislike about combat. One of those things is you cannot switch between one or two-handing a weapon without opening your inventory and toggling it. This was not that much of a problem when it came to playing the game, but still annoying if I wanted a certain moveset or to use a shield. One way you work around this is use one weapon in both weapon loadouts. One loadout can be one-handing and the other can be two-handing, then you can use the swap button to switch between the two. The last thing that bothered me was the ranges of weapons were longer than they appeared. This led to a few frustrating deaths until I learned to deal with it. Despite these few problems, combat is fun and feels very satisfying. I did say the game doesn't hold your hand, but some players might be kind enough to give you a bottle with a helpful message. But be careful, not all of them can be trusted. You can find your own bottle to leave messages for other players in the first area. This doesn't appear to be the only online feature. As you play through some areas, you might see corpses of players impaled on spikes or chained up to the wall. You will also find tombstones or other things resembling grave markers, and when you break them, a phantom appears, showing how another player died. As I was making this video, I found out that there is local co-op using the Sellsword NPC in Sanctuaries, but sadly no online co-op. The last thing I feel like I should talk about is boss fights. Most of the bosses I faced were challenging foes that required patience and knowing when to strike. I felt like I was just a little lucky when I managed to defeat some bosses. Perhaps I did not have enough patience. Something you will notice after fighting the first boss is as his health gets lower, he starts to attack faster and even gain some new attacks. This increase in attack speed applies to all bosses and even some enemies. This can be pretty hard to deal with since the opportunity to strike dwindles as the fight goes on. But overall, it wasn't too bad once you learned the fight. I bought Salt and Sanctuary on sale, though I think it is worth the normal asking price, considering that there is New Game Plus all the way to New Game Plus 7. There are also challenges you can select while making a character, like no healing, and many ways to play, which gives it a lot of replay value. I give Salt and Sanctuary 2 thumbs up. What does that mean, you ask? Well, it means I have a love-hate relationship with this game. Even if you only play through the game once, it is worth your time and money.